So what's the big deal about not having programmer journalists? Well, you're not taking advantage of the web, which is probably going to end up costing news organizations, already is costing news organizations money. We're seeing the effects of that really clearly. As the saying goes, if you're not innovating, you're dying. But I think more than that, and this really speaks to the people who strike at programmers for not being able to understand journalism. More than that is that you're offending one of journalism's basic tenets, which is to serve your audience. By not taking advantage of technology that can help make your data, your stories, your news more engaging to your reader, more impactful to your reader, more interesting to your reader, you're failing to serve that reader. And I think that's really where this blindness is a problem. There's not a single mainstream news organization in the US that I've come across in my research that makes its programmer journalists a part of the main team. It's always kind of this news apps team off in the corner, like, you guys do the mapping and stuff, and we'll link it to stories when it's appropriate, but we're not really going to make a big deal out of it. And that's not to put these organizations down. The Chicago Tribune has a really excellent news apps team that's done some really great work. Probably one of the best things I've seen this semester has been their searchable database of elderly care provision in the Chicago area. And it's really cool because you can go in and search the data several different ways, and you get reports that are just tailored to you. It's the kind of thing you really could charge for, which goes into, again, newspapers losing revenue by not taking advantage of this kind of thing. The LA Times also has a pretty good news apps team, although their productions tend to be a little bit more of the traditional computer-assisted reporting types of projects. Very data-heavy. There doesn't seem to be as much creativity and interactivity with their presentations, but still some excellent work. The LA Times, again, and the New York Times also both do an excellent job of multimedia, which is kind of, as I see it, a branch of programming and journalism. I think good multimedia is creative, and it's not just a video or a slideshow or even just a simple flash graphic. I think really inventive multimedia is going to involve a lot of those different items, and you're going to need programming to tie that all together. So in the era of branding yourself as a journalist, what does it matter what mainstream media thinks of ProJoes? I think they're still mainstream media for a reason, and they're going to affect how smaller guys and even startups think. But there is something to be said for the branding yourself as a journalist, and I think the more individual journalists learn about programming and journalism and how they can be used together, the more accepting editors and other reporters will be of the idea. So in the months to come, as I continue working my way through my master's here at the Cronkite School, I'm going to keep looking at programming and journalism and where it's going, because I think it's really there at the cross-current of technology and innovation that the change is going to take place. I think that's where newspapers are either going to stand or die. It's up to them.